What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. Now less than 100 subs away from 45,000 subscribers. So if we could hit that end of this week, towards the weekend, that'd be sensational. 45,000 subscribers. So a whopping number. So thank you for the continued support, guys. It is much appreciated. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's update as well. We're aiming for 300 likes, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below. So we've got a couple of bits of contract news. We're going to start off first with a Manchester City youngster for the under-18 side called Dante Headley. Now he's a player that plays in the under-18s Manchester City side, as he is 16 years old. He's homegrown English, plays as a right back, and Fabrizio Romano has today confirmed that he is going to sign a new contract at Manchester City. There's no word as of yet how long his contract is going to be for, which I thought was a little odd. I don't know why we've not got such details. Just he's going to be signing a new contract, but no further developments about that new contract for Dante Headley. But fantastic news for him, signing a new contract, and 16 years old. I'm wondering if it is going to be his first professional contract. That normally happens when players hit 17 years old. If it's not to be signed this year, then I imagine in the next year or two he'll be signing his first professional contract, and hopefully that will be with Manchester City. Again, another very highly rated young player in the academy, one to keep your eyes out for. So Dante Headley staying at Manchester City. Now moving on, we've also got the very latest on Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis, where Jack Gaughan has confirmed that Manchester City are now prioritising working with the representatives of both Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis to get them both onto new contracts at Manchester City. This has been echoed by Fabrizio Romano, so I presume that Manchester City have now made contact with the agents, as Fabrizio Romano has a fantastic relationship with football agents. It's where he gets his information from, so I presume that he's got information from both Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis's camp to confirm that them talks are now underway. So Manchester City looking to tie down both them defenders to the club. We know that Man City are also going to be pushing hard to try and get some other players onto new contracts as well. City are going to be working over the next 4 weeks or so to get confirmation about their first team squad, about players who want to be at Manchester City, certainly for the next season and beyond, and players who don't necessarily want to be here, so we can sort out what our squad's going to look like in the coming 12 to 24 months, and obviously get players who do see the long-term future at Manchester City onto new contracts, and then players that maybe don't see themselves having a long-term future at the club, sorting out a potential sale and then not being put onto new contracts. So really interesting. So obviously Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis have given the indication that they do want to be Manchester City, which I always find is positive news, regardless of what your opinions are of the playing attributes of both Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis. The fact that they want to be at Manchester City is a fantastic attitude to have. Now, Ruben Dias is a high-quality centre-back. I know that people have been commenting about the recency bias and things that have happened at the Club World Cup and stuff, but for me, Ruben Dias is a high-quality centre-back, so being able to keep a high-quality centre-back at the club is a fantastic bit of business, and getting him onto a new contract makes a lot of sense, in particular with him seen as potential captain material at Manchester City. So tying down Ruben Dias to a new contract is very good news, and the same can be said with Rico Lewis as well. I'm not so keen on people suggesting that players are homegrown and homegrown to the club, which obviously Man City have a quota to fill when it comes to both their Premier League registrations and the Champions League registrations, that we've got to have these homegrown players from the academy around the first team squad. I don't like it when people suggest that this is the reason why these young players who are around the first team squad end up staying at City maybe longer than some of the other players and get put onto new contracts. Rico Lewis obviously putting in a lot of hard graft. Pep Guardiola, Hugo Viana, they know what they're doing, they know what they're on about, they're impressed by what they see, and they see Rico Lewis as having a long-term future at Manchester City, and if he continues to work hard, then there's no reason why he can't continue to develop, as I think people seem to forget just how young of a player Rico Lewis is, and he is a player that's ever adapting. Who knows, in the next maybe 4 or 5 years we may no longer longer be looking at Rico Lewis as a right back. We'll maybe be looking at him as maybe a winger or a central midfielder or a versatile player who doesn't really have any set position, who's just willing to do the graft and what's needed and required of him. So tying him onto a new contract again makes a lot of sense. What doesn't make a lot of sense is if you don't see a player having a long-term future, putting them onto a new contract and then they end up leaving the club at some point, and we struggle then to sell these players, which is why we're struggling so much with player sales now, that I feel like Man City, when it's come to new contracts, haven't really been thinking about the long term, but rather there might be some interest in our players, so we want to put them onto a bumper new contract rather than thinking, does the player want to be here, and does the player see themselves as being here, and are they continuing to develop, and are they where we want them to be? So I presume this is all taken into account when Man City want to think about putting players onto new contracts. And for me personally, I have no problem at all with Ruben Dias and Rico Lewis entering into contract renewal talks and signing new contracts at Manchester City. We have a squad of over 25 players, so you need your squad players, you need your players to be available for you, and if players want to be here and City think that they're good enough and they're both proven winners for Manchester City, then I've got no real problem with that. So yeah, really interesting. Would love to know your thoughts of that, of course, in the comments, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure other people's opinions will be different, and I always say that my channel is a safe space for people to be able to express their opinions when it comes to matters involving Manchester City. So yeah, do let me know what are your thoughts of that. Ruben Dias, Rico Lewis potentially signing new contracts at City. Are you happy with that? If so, fantastic. If you're not so happy with it, do let me know in the comments below and we can have a real good football debate. Now moving on to the outs, we've got the very latest on James McAtee. I did speak in more detail on this on my YouTube shorts if you want to go and check it out. But Firenze Viola, a source over in Italy, has said that Fiorentina, they're the latest club to add their name to the interest list when it comes to James McAtee this summer. We know there's 5 German clubs interested, including RB Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund, Eintracht Frankfurt, Bayer Leverkusen and VfB Stuttgart. Spurs, Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton Wanderers all believed to be interested from the Premier League as well. Manchester City want £25 million for James McAtee this summer. He's got less than 12 months left on his Manchester City contract. City aren't in contract renewal talks with James McAtee. He does want to leave, so it's all about who's willing to pay the most and where does James McAtee want to go when it comes to his long-term future. Now, moving on to the ins, we've got a very quick update on Jarrad Branthwaite, and if you're a fan of Jarrad Branthwaite and you want him to join Manchester City, I don't think you're going to be very happy with what I do have to say. Now, he's been linked with a move to Manchester City, especially a couple of weeks back when Everton we've been linked with making a move for John Stones earlier this summer. However, Jarrad Branthwaite's made a real big call ahead of a World Cup year. He's getting linked with a move to Man City. I know Manchester United's name was being chucked out there along with a couple of other top English teams as well. I'm not including Man United in them top English teams. They've had a terrible season, so don't deserve to be in a successful team over the last 12 months because they've just not been very successful. So before people start twisting my words with that, no. Absolutely not. Anyway, Jarrad Branthwaite, he signed a new contract at Everton until 2030. It maximises his value. That's great news for Everton, of course. Branthwaite will be getting a pay rise. I imagine he's probably one of the, if not the highest earner now to Everton as well. But ahead of a World Cup year, it really surprises me because I just thought that if there was a big team that comes calling for Jarrad Branthwaite, I thought he may have considered it. And so early into the window, beginning of July, making the decision that he's not going anywhere for at least the next 12 months, and ahead of a World Cup year he wants to stay at Everton instead. Is it a risk? Is it not? Obviously really enjoys being at Everton, so that's his choice to make. But yeah, really interested in that one. But it does of course end all talk of Jarrad Branthwaite joining Manchester City, of course, at least for this transfer window. So there's that. So that has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 300 likes. Get your thoughts as well in the comments below, including what you make of Man City entering into contract renewal talks with Rico Lewis and Ruben Dias. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Remember, less than 100 subs now from 45k. We have a big push for that towards the end of this week. That would be absolutely sensational. So any help towards that would be great. If you've not subscribed, then do subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. Also, don't forget as well social media links, including X, Instagram and TikTok in the description if you want to go and follow me on there, along with my email as well if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And religiously, I'll see you tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.